Have you ever created a spreadsheet and then later noticed the limitations of not being able to see the top row as you scroll down, or the first column as you scroll to the right? Fortunately, Microsoft anticipated this limitation and created a tool to overcome it right within Excel. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to freeze and unfreeze panes in Excel 2010. To freeze a pane, click on the View tab. Click on Freeze Panes. Here you can see that Excel provides you with 3 options and describes what they do. I'm going to show you each of these options. First, we'll look at Freeze First Column. This option freezes the first column on the spreadsheet, locking it in place so that it remains visible as I scroll to the right. Next, let's look at Freeze Top Row. This option freezes the top row on the spreadsheet so that it remains visible as I scroll down. Notice that when I selected Freeze Top Row, the first column became automatically unfrozen. That's because these options work in isolation. Selecting one automatically deselects the other. You cannot freeze both the top row and the first column using these single pane tools. Freezing multiple panes requires use of the third freeze option. Since I still have the top row frozen, I need to unfreeze it before I can access the third option, and I can do that by going to Freeze Panes, Unfreeze Panes. Now neither the top row nor the first column are frozen. Next, let's look at the third and final freeze option. Freeze Panes allows you to select the custom panes that you would like to lock in place. The concept is simple. Before I click on Freeze Panes, I need to click on an active cell in my spreadsheet. An active cell is simply any cell that I click on. I've selected C4. When I click on Freeze Panes, Excel will freeze rows 1, 2, and 3, which are above C4, and columns A and B, which are to the left of C4. Note that C4 itself is not a frozen cell. It is just an active cell that tells Excel where to freeze above and to the left of. But I don't actually want to freeze those cells, so I will unfreeze them by going to Freeze Panes, Unfreeze Panes. But let's say that I would like to be able to see the top row and the first column on my spreadsheet no matter where I scroll. I can do that by selecting cell B2, going to Freeze Panes and selecting Freeze Panes. Now when I scroll down, I will always be able to see the top row, and when I scroll to the right, I will always be able to see the first column. That could be helpful to me as I continue to fill out my spreadsheet because I'll always be able to see my categories and my file names. And if I decide that I don't want those panes to be frozen, I can go back to Freeze Panes, Unfreeze Panes, restoring my spreadsheet to its default of having no frozen panes. That concludes my tutorial on freezing and unfreezing panes in Microsoft Excel 2010. Thanks for watching.